Had a little bit of technical difficulties. Camera decided to take a crap on me right as I was about to start streaming. But hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of a show that I'm calling Brew Craft. A show where I can hang out and homebrew and chat with viewers and chat and discuss the various topics that I'll be homebrewing for. While I also drink beer and other various alcoholic beverages. Themed for the episode, of course. Tonight's episode is Legends of Horror. And I'll be working on, as some of you can, as you can see in the stream there, the webpage I've got pulled up is homebrewery at .naturalcrit.com. It's the website that I use for my various homebrewing things. I'll be making monster stat blocks for Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Pennywise from the Stephen King book and various films adaptations of it. So, without further ado, let's crack open a beer and get started, shall we? Tonight I will be drinking Wake Up Dead Imperial Stout, which is from the lovely folks at Left Hand Brewing Company. I'll hold that up. Hopefully I can get the camera to focus nicely on it. So, let's talk horror things, shall we? I'm personally a fan of horror in general. But let's talk, for starters, Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees, as some of you may be familiar. If you're watching this, you're probably familiar. He is sort of an corpse that came back to life for revenge, basically. Although with the first movie, he wasn't even actually the main villain character. It was his mom who was doing the killings at Camp Crystal Lake. But regardless, he is kind of the face of the Friday the 13th. Yes, immortal hockey mask killer. So basically, he has been killed and come back to life a bunch of times. So let's say that it's safe to assume that Jason is some sort of undead creature. But before I start, I'm going to take a sip of this beer just to stick with the theme. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's boozy. That's, what are we looking at here? Doesn't have the ABV. Oh, there we go. 10.2% alcohol by volume. So, it's not the strongest beer I've ever had, but it's definitely good. It's got, like, tasty, kind of mocha, chocolate, coffee notes, as you would expect with some stouts. Anyway, so yes, Jason Voorhees, we can assume, is some sort of undead creature. So he's a medium creature, so a medium undead, and I'm gonna say, and this may be, may draw some conflict, but I'm going to say lawful evil, and this is why. Because he has a certain set of rules that he abides by, and is constantly brought back, consistently brought back to life, I'm going to say lawful evil. Feel free to disagree with me in chat. We can discuss it. Armor class. He's big and slow, and he gets hit pretty easily. So I'm gonna say we'll leave armor class for now because he doesn't wear any armor. He's gonna be unarmored. But let's see what his dex is. And let me turn the notification sounds off so we're not getting that on stream. We'll leave the armor class for now because he's definitely unarmored, but I want to see what we decide on for his dex. We'll leave hit points as well. Speed is a tricky thing for Jason because he's, as I said, pretty slow, but he's also got this trope in his films where no matter how slow he's moving and how fast the victim is moving, he always seems to catch up to them. So I think that's going to be something that we'll probably look at down the road in perhaps maybe his traits that he has. Maybe he has like a teleportation ability or something crazy to explain why he's constantly able to catch up to his victims. But I think his speed isn't really crazy. He's probably got an average 30-foot speed. Strength score. That is, well, I can say with some certainty that I can recall from at least one of the films, he's crushed a skull with his bare hands, so he is extremely strong. I wouldn't be surprised if he was comparably as strong as maybe a hill giant. I believe their strength score is a 22, which gives them a +6. Now here's the all-important question about Dex, because he is, like I said, pretty easy to hit as far as I can tell from the films that I've watched that he's in. People have no trouble hitting him. It's all about getting him to stay down. So I'm gonna give him a Dex of 8. So that's gonna give him a -1 Dex score. Con again is gonna be super high, probably just from sheer ability to take blows and deal with them. I'm gonna give him a 20 in con, and he's gonna be like a legendary creature for sure. So I'm not too concerned about giving him high stats to start out with, and we can always go back and modify these as we go. Intelligence, he's not all that bright. Dex 10. Yeah, we can go Dex 10 for sure. Yeah, this is the whole reason for this show is I wanna interact with the audience and get a good dialogue going about this homebrew. I'm not the be all end all for homebrewing by all means. Yeah, so we'll go with Dex 10 then, which makes his modifier 0. Con 20 with a +5. Intelligence, again, he's not super intelligent, but he's not ravenous dog dumb either. So I'm gonna give him an intelligence of 10 too. He's got average intelligence. He's not a brainiac, but he's not having trouble figuring out targets and stuff. He can discern them pretty well. Wisdom, I often equate wisdom with the ability to like their willpower as well, not just like wisdom like experience, knowledge through experience per se. I equate wisdom with the with willpower, and as far as I can tell, Jason's willpower is pretty low. What notification are you giving me? I forgot to turn on my music. People in chat, or person in chat, is the music level good? I don't want to blow anyone's ears out. I specifically found royalty-free spooky music for tonight, so please let me know. If the music's too loud, I can turn it down. Anyway. So wisdom, I'm going to give him an 8 in wisdom. Can't even hear it. Okay. Huh. Here we go. How about now? Yeah. He's slow, but I think we're gonna probably put that in with his legendary action, something that allows him to teleport. Can we hear the music now? So yeah, wisdom will go with an 8. Oop, didn't want to do that. And then charisma. I'm not gonna give him the worst charisma. Okay, good. That's important. I wanted to make sure we can hear music. Okay. I'm not gonna give him the worst charisma, because I can distinctly recall from the films something. It's like he's got a charm about him in his eyes. Sometimes. So I'm gonna give him a 6 in charisma. That's -2. And then we'll come back up here to armor class. Now armor class, as I'm sure folks at home know, is determined by a few things. If you're wearing armor, then it's whatever the level of armor you're wearing plus a certain modicum of your dexterity modifier. If you're unarmored, so charming, yes. If you're unarmored, your base armor class starts at 10, and then it goes up based on your dexterity modifier. But for creatures, when you're crafting a creature, they have the option to have natural armor, which I imagine as a yes. I imagine as a long, desiccated, rotting corpse, he has a decent amount of build-up that is granting him some sort of armor. So I'm going to give him an armor class of 13. Now he does still get hit often, which is explained by the low armor class, but I don't want him to be like a zombie level with an 8 armor class, which he wouldn't be anyway. He would have a base 10, but I don't want him to be zombie level armored, especially as a legendary creature. He's not so natural armor. Okay, hit points we'll come back to later. Saving throws. He is for sure going to be proficient in strength. Saving throws, so he's going to get a bonus to that. He is for sure going to be proficient in wisdom saving throws, so he's going to get a plus to that. And he is for sure going to be proficient in, and we'll go back and give him proficiency in dex just to make up for that low dex score. That, well, not low, but comparably low for a legendary creature. Ooh. Getting chills. All right. And then we'll come back and fill all those in when we decide his challenge rating. Skills. I'll toss it out to the audience. What skills do we think old Jason is proficient in? Probably athletics. And I don't really know. I can't really think of anything else that would make sense for him to be proficient in. They did away with the crafting skills. I think with 4th edition. But yes, he's probably if this was 3.5, he'd probably be proficient in craft corpse, for sure. We'll come back if we decide to add more skills. Damage vulnerabilities. I feel like I remember from the Freddy vs. Jason film that there was something to do with like mental, like he was weak to like people's mental abilities or something. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't watched Stealth. That's a good one. Yeah, probably Stealth, because people often don't see him until it's too late. So, but yeah, I think I remember him being vulnerable to like mental abilities. So I'm going to tentatively say psychic damage. He's probably vulnerable to. Damage resistances. It just makes sense for easily manipulated by Freddy for sure. So maybe he's not immune to charm effects, that's for sure. But as an undead, it just makes sense for him to be resistant to necrotic damage, if not flat out immune. All damage, resists all damage. I would say definitely bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical weapons, fire. You know what? You're probably right. He's probably resistant to all damage. Except psychic. So, to save me some time, all except psychic. He's a bear totem barbarian, basically. Actually, to be completely honest, he's probably immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Oh, he is vulnerable to electric. Okay, so lightning. Yeah, I thought so too. Let's table vulnerabilities for now. So let's go here. Let's do. He's resistant to fire, cold, poison. He's probably immune to poison. Fire, cold. This is where his mediocre stats for a legendary creature are going to make up for the fact that he's resistant and immune to a lot of damage types. Fire, cold, thunder, force, necrotic. Fire, Cold, Thunder, Force, Necrotic. Get Psychic Invulnerabilities. Lightning. Acid. I think that's those. And then he's immune to, like most undead, immune to poison. And he's also immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Okay. Condition immunities. I don't think he sleeps. So I'm going, even though sleep isn't technically, excuse me, a condition immunity, I guess I would have to put that down in the traits section. But he's immune to being unconscious. For sure. He's immune to the poison condition. And feel free to throw things out in chat if you guys have ideas. But poison and unconscious for sure. Passive perception. He has a -1 to wisdom, so his passive perception is 9. And he for sure has dark vision. 60 feet. Languages, none. Okay. So here's where we're going to get into kind of guessing where his challenge rating is going to be, and then when we get to the end of creating him, we'll go to the CR calculator and figure out what his actual challenge rating would be. So I welcome any suggestions for challenge rating. I'm thinking something along the lines of probably 18. Because I feel like he's challenging, but not as challenging as, say, a dragon. Maybe even 16. Which would mean that for level 16 characters, he would be a medium challenge for. Let's go with 16. And I don't know what the XP for 16 is. 1,000 hit points. That might be a bit much, especially with all the resistances. But here's the thing about resistances is they effectively give you double the hit points. So let's say he had 300 hit points, he would effectively have 600 hit points. That's fair too. Dumb teens. So let's say, I mean, his challenge rating is going to be pretty high because of the resistances and immunities. That alone gives him a pretty hefty hit point pool. What are we thinking then? If we don't want to do 16, what are we thinking? Maybe 8. Half that, or maybe a 10. Let's do 10. Okay. Skip these traits for now, and we'll go to actions because we all know what his more mental damage. I think. Well, it depends on the caster. I think that Mind Spike is a second level spell, but that's Xanathar's Guide to Everything item. So, I mean, the way that I've always understood how the WotC staff develop. The way I've always understood how the WotC staff develop things is they go based on what's in the core books because they don't expect everybody to have all the other books. So, realistically, there's not a ton of psychic damage spells in the core books. There are a couple more that are added through Xanathar's Guide. There's like Mind Spike and Synaptic Static and stuff. But realistically, there's not a ton of psychic damage going on out there. Unless you put Jason up against a Mind Flayer, and then he's screwed. Although the Mind Flayer probably wouldn't want to eat that brain anyway, because it's probably very rotten. So yeah, let's take a look at actions for now, and we'll go back to traits. He's gonna get multi-attack for sure, just because he's the dude. He's Jason Voorhees. Let's say Jason makes 3 attacks. Does that sound about right for a CR10 creature? That sounds about right. I mean, honestly, I think the bandit captain gets 3 attacks, and he's only like CR2. But he also only uses a short sword and a dagger, if I remember correctly, or a scimitar and a dagger. Yeah, so Jason makes 3 attacks. With his machete. Actually, let's give him Jason uses his terrifying gaze, and this is going to be a feature that we'll give him. Terrifying gaze, or an action, I should say, a thing that he can do, and makes 3 attacks. Terrifying gaze. Pretty sure that's something that scarecrows have too. I'm not 100% sure. Let me grab the monster manual. Take a look. That could be interesting. Yeah, that could be for his legendary action. Maybe just a trait. No, it would have to be an action. I don't know if we're gonna give him legendary actions. Scarecrow, I know you're in here. Terrifying glare, so basically the same. Scarecrow targets one creature it can see within 30 feet of it. If the target can see a scarecrow, DC 11 Wisdom saving throw. Okay. Yeah. That would be Camp Crystal Lake would be his lair. That would be interesting to give him like lair actions instead of in place of legendary actions. That could be something we could do. Okay, so Terrifying Gaze. Jason targets one creature he can see. Within 30 feet. Target. If the target can see him. Target must succeed. On a DC. Let's say 15 for now. DC 15. Wisdom saving throw. Or become frightened. It would be like a weakened frightful presence, basically. Creature. So 1 minute. Okay, so frightened of him for 1 minute. And must scream. That might actually be cool. While frightened in this way. Its action to run. Jason. I should have eaten more before we started. I'm only halfway through this beer and getting buzzed. Getting loopy. All right. Run away from Jason. Oop. Let me fix that. If come on now. aren't you working for me? Oh well. If a creature succeeds on this saving throw, it is immune to Jason's terrifying gaze for 24 hours. Okay, now we got Machete. It's a melee. Oh, excuse me. It's a melee weapon attack. Let's go. Excuse me. Well, his strength is +6. We don't know, or we're thinking challenge rating 10. So challenge rating 10 nets him a proficiency bonus of +4. So I guess we can go back and fill these in too. So he's got +10. Oops, not 10 plus, +10. +10 to strength. He's got a +4 to dex. He's got a +3 to wisdom. Vorpal. Yeah, Vorpal machete. Athletics. Yeah, why not? Vorpal machete. Athletics, he's going to have a +10. And stealth, he's going to have a +4. Actually, he's going to have expertise in that, so it's going to be a +8. Okay. I've got to look up what Vorpal swords do. I know they do a shit ton of damage. Where's my Dungeon Master's Guide? There it is. They do a shit ton of damage on a crit anyway. So has anybody got plans for Halloween while I look this up? I'm going to be staying in. Vorpal. Okay, +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls. You roll a 20. You cut off one of the creature's heads. Creature dies if it can. Really? I could have sworn it does. Oh, 60. Yeah, such a creature instead takes an extra 68 slashing damage for the hit. All right. So he's got. So if it's got a +3, he's gonna get study for midterms. That sucks. I miss school, but I don't miss school at the same time. 5 feet. I mean, I wish I was in school so that I could just, you know, not have. I mean, I guess there's plenty of people that work and do school as well. I guess I should say I want to be back in high school. That would be good. Nice and quiet, not have to do homework. Not have to do regular work. Told you, I'm buzzed. Okay. So let's do. He probably does more damage with a regular attack though. Even let's give him a 2d8 for the machete. And then that's +6. makes sense. Has legendary actions. The DM decides. Okay, so there's the caveat. The creature is too big for its head to be cut off by the weapon. Cool. All right, so we've got some core actions that he can do set up. We've got the majority of his stuff figured out. Let's jump back to hit points real quick, and we'll give him some hit points. He's medium, so his hit die is going to be a D8. So let's plug in some numbers and see what we get. What's 20 D8 get us? And that would be plus 100 for his plus 5 con. Calculators. 4.5 times 20. 190 hit points. With resistance, that gives us 380 hit points. Does that sound about right? I'm gonna say that sounds about right. No, maybe more. Let's see, 22. Undead Fortitude for sure. So let's drop Undead Fortitude in there. a little bit of time. Oh, radiant damage. I forgot radiant damage. Damage reduces Jason to 0 hit points. You must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus damage taken. Unless the damage is radiant or from critical. On a success. Jason drops to 1 hit point instead. Okay, undead fortitude. Good. Now, regeneration, probably, maybe. That's coming from Troll. Let's just use this. Jason regains 10 hit points at the start of his turn. This trait doesn't function, and at the start of his turn, doesn't function at the start of his next turn. You guys still with me? Everybody got a little quiet. Starts his turn.